Welcome everyone from every corner of the internet to Useless Facts with your host, Resin Unleashed. Today's Useless Facts come from the most recent entry in the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, Shin Megami Tensei V, with all of the focus being on the demons. These creatures must all possess some things that we don't need to know in order to survive, but it always brings us satisfaction when we learn about them. So sit back, relax, and join me as we look at the useless facts about all of the Shin Megami Tensei V demons. Anubis' earlier design by Kazuma Kaneko carries a caduceus, a winged staff symbolizing the Greco-Roman god Mercurius. This may be in reference to the figure of Hermanubis, a hybrid deity between Mercurius and Anubis, worshipped until late Roman times. Makami are feared by many as a human eater, but are also used on prayer boards to ward off evil. Starting from Shin Megami Tensei, the fusion of Barong and Rangda creates Shiva, one of the major gods in Hinduism who represents eternity, creation, and destruction. Starting from Persona 5, Feng Hung's 3D model is based on Zhu Chue's old design from Shin Megami Tensei 2. Zhu Chue itself received a new design in Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, and this new design is what Zhu Chue's 3D model is based on. In Last Bible 2, Jatayu hatched from an egg. Both the Italian and the French localizations use Thunderbird's Lakota name, Wakinian. In some official English versions, such as Devil Survivor 2 and Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, Zhu Kui is incorrectly translated as Feng Hung, one of the 4 benevolent animals of China. In the Japanese version, this demon represents one of the 4 symbols, which is a completely different concept to the other. Yatagarasu also exists within Korean and Chinese mythology, with the bird having different stories in each. In Devil Survivor 2, Garuda states, "I hope you'd refrain from fusing me with a naga. We have a history, you see." K-Sith inspired the fairy tale Puss in Boots. Inugami are typically known to possess people with strong or unstable emotions. In Revelations Persona, Nekomata was renamed to Facilia as reference to the character of the same name from Capcom's Darkstalkers fighting series. Orthrus can evolve from Chimera once it reaches level 50 in Shin Megami Tensei IV Apocalypse. Ouroboros can answer any question one may have about the past, present, or future. According to an interview with designer Masayuki Doi, Lugaru has a variety of myths. He was designed with the legend of the tyrannical French feudal lord being punished by being transformed into a werewolf in mind. Cerberus has made an appearance in the games Puzzle Dragons and Alchemist Code. According to Masayuki Doi in an interview, Demon was the first demon designed for Shin Megami Tensei V, as well as the first demon that was colored. In Azumi's original design, the demon was green. When having a favorable conversation with a randomly encountered Ippon Datara in Raidou Kuzunoha vs King Abaddon, Ippon Datara will sometimes say that he will wear a maid outfit for Raidou. Oni first made an appearance in Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei. Starting from Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, the original design of Shiki Oji from Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner has been transferred to Shikigami, and instead receives a brand new design. Kazuma Kaneko did not intend Kinki to use any weapon, unlike his fellows, but likely for saving an individual set of skeletal animations, his 3D model is given the same club of Oni and uses the same attack animations. This design decision continues to Persona 5 when all 3D models and animations were given a revamp. In Persona 5 Royal, his club is removed and is given a set of new animations. Suiki's name means Water Oni. Ongyoki's name means Invisible Oni. Fuki's name means Wind Oni. Thoth is an Egyptian moon god that takes the form of a baboon who is known for measuring time. In Digital Devil Saga, Horus is one of the few demons that drop noise on defeat. Unused Persona data for Atavaka can be found in Persona 5. It would later be officially added in Persona 5 Royal. Mithra's artwork since Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne seems to resemble the lion-headed figure found in temples of Mithras in the Roman Empire. Vishnu appears as a powerful event boss in Imagine, spawning with Nasima and Garuda. Acquiring his plugin within the game requires achieving the highest monthly score within the Ultimate Battle Coliseum and completing the Champion course. Baal is known as the Syrian god of fertility and life. According to an interview with Masayuki Doi on Shin Megami Tensei V, several cutscenes in the game made use of motion capture, and Koznu would be a character that would be dynamically distinct thanks to the methodology and his actor. According to an interview with Masayuki Doi, Angel's design was updated for Shin Megami Tensei V to better fit the role they play in the story. Since in the story the lawful and chaotic clash many times, it was vital to make Angel appear more angelic. Archangel's current design wears an accurate example of a late 14th century suit of armor, sporting one of the most realistic armors in the series. He even wears a sword and dagger like actual knights of the period. In Asian regions, Principality's title translates as Angel of Authority. Dominion's actions are a manifestation of God's will, and they wish for their domination to be spread throughout the universe. Power are said to be the first line of defense in the hallways of heaven to prevent demons from entering. In the original Shin Megami Tensei, the throne sprite is a palette-swapped angel. Zuanu is also referred to in some titles under its Japanese name, Genbu. Quetzalcoatl has appeared as both a human and a snake throughout the franchise. In some official English version, Winlong is incorrectly translated as long due to the confusion between the four symbols and the four benevolent animals of China. In the original Japanese version, Seiryu or Quinlong represents one of the four symbols and Ryu or Long belongs to the four benevolent animals, which are fundamentally different. Automata is the king of all Nagas according to Hindu mythology. Huanglong's name literally means yellow dragon. In an interview with designer Masayuki Doi, Aitvaras was designed as another mascot for the game. Similar to Chirona from Shin Megami Tensei IV Apocalypse, Basilisk has appeared as both a rooster and a lizard throughout the franchise. Hydra's design in Shin Megami Tensei V took inspiration from ancient Greek pottery. Prior to Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, Fafnir's design was a palette swap of Pendragons. In the Devil Summoner series, it had gone through a distinct redesign and has retained this appearance in subsequent games. Seth's battle theme in Act 22 of Imagine is a remix of the lore theme from Shin Megami Tensei, the boss battle theme of Shin Megami Tensei II, and the final boss theme of Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne. Kazuki's artwork in the Devil Children series looks exactly like Raja Naga. Earth's is composed of dryness and cold essences, the basic components of destruction. Eros is a fusion of heat and moist essences, forming the basis of an exponential energy increase. Aquans is composed of cold and moist essences. Flammus is composed of dryness and heat essences. The Devil Children series is the only series of games where Pixie is a boy rather than a girl. In Shin Megami Tensei II Demonic Encyclopedia, series artist Kazuma Kaneko has explained the upright spiked hairstyle of High Pixie is purposed to render the word high. Jack-o'-lantern is also referred to as Pyrojack throughout the series. In an interview about Shin Megami Tensei V, Demon Desire Masayuki Doi remarked that Jack Frost's new redesign was actually revealed prior to the announcement of the game itself, as he was included in the key art used in the Great Atlas exhibit during Sega Fairs held in spring of 2019, and could be found on merchandise that's been sold during that event. Kelpie is a supernatural water horse that haunts rivers and lakes in Scotland. Satana is Ku Cthulhu's given name. He obtained his more well-known alias after he killed Kulin's guard dog in self-defense and volunteered to take its place. Silky is a spirit that protects a household. She is known for doing household chores while the inhabitants are asleep, but will also kill anyone who tries to cause harm to the place she is trying to protect. Oberon is the husband of Titania. Titania is derived from the fairy queen character in William Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night's Dream. In Persona 4, Andras appears on the box art of a game sitting near the protagonist's TV. In the Sega CD version of Shin Megami Tensei, Bereth is holding a sword as opposed to the lance that he usually carries. In the Path of the Art area of Mementos in Persona 5 Royal, Fornius and Decorabia can be encountered together, as another reference to their special non-mythological relationship. In Demi-Kid's Light and Dark, Eligor is known as Wartark. Prior to the PlayStation 2 era, Osei's sprite was a palette swap of Floris's. The artwork is even dedicated to the latter. In Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, even though both fallen demons received updated designs, Osei's 3D model was based on Florus' outdated design with his original skin palette, while Florus' model is based on the updated design. This continued in all subsequent games, which used 3D demon or Persona models until Persona 5, in which Osei's 3D model was based on the revised artwork. In Kazuma Kaneko Works 3, the commentator admitted that the revised artwork of Florus has inspired the game designers to make him more physically orientated, contrary to the source material which depicts him as a mage capable of casting fire. In the most extreme cases, Florus does not know a single fire spell innately in Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, Digital Devil Saga 2, and Persona 5. In 2017, in Japan, Decarabia was voted as the 7th most popular demon in the Megami Tensei series. In Persona 5 Royal and Persona 5 Strikers French and Spanish localizations, Nibiros is named Nabirius. We interrupt this presentation to remind you that liking the video, commenting, telling us what you think, and subscribing helps the channel out immensely. Also, hee-ho. Ardra Melik's first appearance in the series was in Megami Ibunoku Persona. Mermaid's second concept artwork had her wearing a maid-like school uniform. Liana Tsude made an appearance in Persona 4 the animation. In an interview with Masayuki Doi, Mana Nangal was a demon he strongly pushed to include when the staff was selecting demons in the early stages of the game. This is because all other demons were selected to fulfill a certain genre or role, and while considering what modern Shin Megami Tensei fans would like to see in terms of design, they decided that they wanted to mix in more extreme, experimental roles as well, with Mana Nangal being the horror character. In the original version of Shin Megami Tensei, Yaksini is simply a recolored version of Kali. Lamia is the first boss in the Virtual Boy title Jack Bros. In Japanese Buddhism, Dakini are recognized as fox spirits and are also recognized as a goddess called Dakiniten, who is associated with Inari and Daikokuten. In Giten Megami Tensei Tokyo Mokushiraku, Clotho appears as a woman with bird-like features. Kaneko's design for Lachesis and the other Moray sisters draws inspiration from works of British fashion designer Antonio Berardi, who in turn was inspired by French hairstylist Nicolas Jean-Jacques. Atropos is the eldest of the 3 Moray sisters and was known as the Inflexible One. Incidentally, Rangda's appearance in Megami Tensei and several other early games is simply a palette swap of Barong. In Persona 5, unlike other Red Shadows, if Kali's HP is dropped to a level where she can be negotiated, the Blackened Fury's rage has reached its peak, will display instead of the standard hold-up indicator. While Cleopatra makes an appearance in 2 titles, she only appears as DLC in both. In 2017, Alice was voted in Japan as the 2nd most popular demon in the Megami Tensei series. Matador's sword, espada, literally means sword in Spanish, Portuguese, and Galician. If the protagonist beats Daisoju in the first Shin Megami Tensei, he has a slim chance of dropping the Reaper's Bell, the most powerful Chaos-aligned weapon in the game. Despite having the portrait remaining mostly unchanged, Hellbiker's 3D model has him wear a helmet in addition since Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, though him wearing his helmet has been inconsistent, with some games opting not to have the demon wear it. White Rider has a 1 in 256 chance of appearing in Ginza shopping district in Shin Megami Tensei 4 if you have a black card. Should the protagonist attempt to talk to Red Rider in Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, he briefly references the Wizard of Oz. In Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne Remaster, Black Rider is voiced by Chris Hackney in the English dub. Pale Rider's coat used to be blue in earlier titles. In the Nocturne HD Remaster, the Harlot's name was changed to Mother Harlot. Trumpeter's appearance as a horde of 7 trumpeters in Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse is a reference to the 7 angels who sound their trumpets during the apocalypse. In Persona 4 Golden, when the protagonist's cousin, Nanako Dojima, offers the protagonist her homemade chocolate on Valentine's Day, the chocolate appears as a fuming, multicolored slime. In Devil Summoner, Raidou Kuzunoha vs the Soulless Army, Legion is the sole result of a fusion accident, with 5 possible variations. normal, magic, heal, physical, and rare variants. Black Ooze is inspired by the Ooze-type creature from the popular role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons. Dionysus is the ancient Greek god of wine, wine cups, wine skins, grapes, and fertility. Chernobog used to be a purple man wearing a red cape. He also used to carry a scythe as a weapon. Due to Mott's AI during the boss battle in Shin Megami Tensei V Nocturne having the tendency to abuse the Beast Eye spell, this battle is nicknamed Mott's Drama by the Japanese fans. Kaneko's design for Zao Gongen, much like Ippon Datara and Mielzedex, draws inspiration from Todd McFarlane's 1992 comic, Spawn, the character Spawn in particular inspiring the chains and skull-like underwear. In Devil Children Black, Red, and White book, Asura's name is Sura. Shiva is the god of dance and destruction in Hinduism. According to Kazuma Kaneko's work 3, the namesake media franchise Kurama Tengu by Jiro Osaragi, with its original novel premiered in 1924, in particular the 1928 movie adaptation starring Kanjuro Arashi, has been influential to the public perception of the mythical entity. The protagonist, who is a loyalistic activist, assumes the Kurama Tengu persona to carry out his vigilante missions. This explains why Kaneko's Kurama Tengu lacks the symbolic elongated nose as the famous statue erected in Mount Kurama, Kyoto. Finn McCool in Japan's spelling is simply just Finn McCool. It is likely that the only reason for why the Ruyi Ginju Bang is created by Hanuman in an electric chair execution in Persona 5 is because the weapon's mythological wielder, Saiton Taisei, is an exclusive persona for Ryuji Sakamoto and so cannot be used in an execution. Early in Amanazaku's development, she was designed with more orange skin tone to make her feel closer to a Tengu, or Amanajaku. But after thinking more about her, it was decided that they'd go with her current look. Kratos' charms that hang off his earrings have also been yellow in some titles. When confining an Oberon in Devil Summoner Raidou Kuzunoha vs the Soulless Army, it will comment on the player's button mashing ability, and will ask them if they are Master Takahashi. Takahashi Meijin was a man who worked for Hudson Soft and was famous for his fast trigger finger speed of 16 shots per second. Poltergeist was green in earlier titles. In Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, Pisaka has a special move called Bites the Dust, which inflicts explosive damage on opponents. This may be a reference to Part 4 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as one of the characters, Yoshikage Kira, has an ability called Bites the Dust, which causes explosions. Kumba Handa made a first appearance in Last Bible 3 and looked very different to what we know now. The Mercedes-Benz star can also be seen on Melchizedek's face due to inspiration from Japanese wordplay. On Mercedes, Meru se desu, sounding similar to Melchizedek, Meruki Sedeku. Shin Megami Tensei V is Camille's first appearance in the franchise since Devil Summoner 2, Raidou Kuzunoha vs King Abaddon. Shrosha's duty is to listen to humanity's cry for Ahura Mazda, also known to descend after sunset to vanquish evil. Its name literally means observance. Uriel's name means flame of God. Raphael's name means healer. Gabriel's name comes from the Sumerian word for governor. Sandalphon is Metatron's twin brother. The illustration of Michael in the first Shin Megami Tensei, along with his in-game model continuity, resembles the sculpture of St. Michael's victory over the devil by Sir Jacob Epstein in Coventry Cathedral. The artwork of Metatron's eyes have multiple crosses, which are symbols of Jesus Christ's crucifixion. In an interview with Masayuki Doi on Shin Megami Tensei V on Abdiel's design, they had to lean heavily on original interpretations due to there being very little reference for her in the source material. In Demi-Kid's Light and Dark, Shisa is known as Learguard. Chirinup's concept art depicts it as a fox wearing some traditional Japanese clothing. In an interview with Masayuki Doi, Hayatara was supposed to be the first demon that the protagonist meets and recruits in the game. The staff ambitiously dreamed about maybe even having the protagonist ride Hayatara's back as a partner in crime, but the idea was scrapped due to the technical circumstances and the demon's role as a one-off character. Although Byaku's profile in most official English localizations insists that it came from the four benevolent animals, this is fundamentally wrong as there is no tiger included in this concept. Chimera's original design depicted him with wings instead of a goat's head. It also had a horn coming out from the head and was blue. Turdak is often referred to as death itself. Rakshasas are also called cannibals. In the North American localization of Jack Bros, Loa's name was changed to Sinister Scar. In Shin Megami Tensei IV, Macabre appears as a part of the challenge quest Dance of the Dead. The name of this quest ties back to the demon's lore, where it dances the feared Dance of Death. Hecatoncheires is used by Joker in Persona 5 the animation. According to Kazuma Kaneko's work 3, Kodama's design is influenced by Hayao Miyazaki's 1997 animated film Princess Mononoke. Tsuchigumo's name literally means earth spider. Sudama's original design was a ghost coming out of a rock. Kaya no Hime is a goddess of vegetation, grass, and fields. She was often prayed to before cutting down trees or reeds for use in construction. Koropakuru's name is interpreted to mean people below the leaves of the butterbird plant in the Ainu language. According to scripture Zibuyu in Qin Dynasty, Huapo is a kind of tree spirit said to be formed from the disembodied souls of dead humans when 3 or more people hang themselves from the same tree. Narcissus fell in love with his own reflection in the water, which inadvertently led to his death. Atis's bandages were white instead of bronze in Persona 3 and 4. Zochochen's name means lengthening good deeds among mortals. Komokuten's design, which is borrowed directly from Todaiji, has him carrying a writing brush and a scroll instead of any conventional weapon, indicating his focus on literature among the 4 heavenly kings. Jikokuten is known as Lord Ton in Demi-Kid's Light and Dark. Bishamonten is depicted as the strongest of the 4 heavenly kings, usually under the service of Taira no Masakado. Thor's Devil Summoner and Soul Hacker's designs have swastika symbols on his magic belt. Initially, Take Minakata's 3D model has him wearing shoes without shin guards. This has been updated in Persona 5. Sukuna Hikono's order in Raidou Kuzunoha vs. the Soulless Army is Tokyogami in Japanese, and Tokyo-Yogami in the English version. It is not known if this was a typo or an intentional change. Oya Matsumi has only appeared in 8 games throughout the franchise. Kushinada's design for Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne is a reference to her transformation into a comb. Okuninushi's old design depicted the demon as a snake with a human head. While Arahabaki is often referred to as a he in game text, the original clay figurines were actually modeled after women. In a publicity conference for Nocturne in Japan, one fan asked Kazuma Kaneko why he drew Kikuri Hime in dark skin like a Ganguro girl. Kaneko explained that this is due to Kikuri Hime's association with death. Hirachi makes a cameo in the new opening movie for the PSP version of Persona 2 Innocent Sin, holding the baby Narcissus in her arms. Yukari's desire to collect all the keys to the past and revive her dead body in The Answer mimics Isis's own desire to revive her husband, Osiris, by collecting his missing body parts, which were scattered all around the world by the god Seth upon his defeat. Serving the role as the unlockable persona of the lover's social link in Persona 3, Sibel's title and history as the Great Mother could be looked at as a loose reference for Yukari's social link, having a good emphasis on her relationship with her mother. And like Sibel and Attis, their relationship is considerably strained, at least in the beginning. According to legend, all gods will return to Skadi at the end of Ragnarok, for her name contains the meaning shadow. Alilat appeared as a rare boss spawn in the 2014 Nightmare Ride Show event instance in Shin Megami Tensei Imagine. Both of Inanna's concept designs are centered around a woman with bird-like features. Shin Megami Tensei V is the first game where Danu can be used as an ally. Ishtar is the Akkadian goddess of love and war. She is known as the Queen of Heaven and is equated with the planet Venus. In an interview with Masayuki Doi on Shin Megami Tensei V, he stated that Nua was the most popular demon in the office, as well as that people love her demeanor and behavior, with some saying she's almost like a protagonist herself. Fortuna is the goddess of fortune, chance, and luck in Roman mythology. In Megami Ibunoku Persona, Ame no Uzume disrobes for two of her attack animations, Happy Dance and Sexy Dance, in reference to her mythological background. Anahita is identified with the Aban or waters, and is thus a river deity responsible for fertility. Parvati in Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne and Devil Survivor 2 drains fire attacks but is weak to ice, a reference to how Parvati is Sati reincarnated after throwing herself into flames. This is changed to the opposite in Persona 3 and 4 to reflect her being the daughter of the snow god of the Himalayas. Persona 2's Artemis was designed with the motive of a spacesuit, specifically the ones worn by the astronauts of the Apollo 11 during their moon landing mission in 1969. The mirror caps, on the other hand, are references to the lunar module Eagle. Iden's character design for Shin Megami Tensei V, which consists of red clothing, a hood, and a basket filled with food, is a reference to the 17th century European folktale Little Red Riding Hood. In Devil Survivor 2, Sarasvati acknowledges her Japanese name. She states, "My name is Sarasvati, but you call me Ben Zaitan here. Yes? It's a pleasure to meet you." In some games, Skahas attire is red instead of black. Even though Norn are a group of Norse goddesses, they're usually made by fusing the Mirai sisters, which, while both have similar roles, the Mirai are from a different mythology. The only games that avert this are the Demi-Kids games. During the development of Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne, like Kokuri Hime and Kurama Tengu, Lakshmi served as the base model for deriving other Hindu goddesses, namely Sarasvati, Sati, and Asparas. All of them share the same pool of skeletal animations to different degrees. Demeter's first appearance in the series was in the Sega Saturn title Ron. Maria's human form, depicted while holding golden chains, is probably inspired by the Madonna della Cantea, Italian for Our Lady of the Chain, a title ascribed to Maria as the protector of slaves and prisoners. Aramitama represents aggression and forcefulness. It is the source of valor, anger, passion, and other heated emotions. Saki Mitama is a part of the soul that brings good fortune and blessings. It is said to bring prosperity in hunting, fishing, and harvests. Niki Mitama is the calm and functional state of a person's soul, or kami, which is considered the opposite to Aramitama. Kushimitama is an aspect of the human soul known as the Wondrous Soul. In earlier titles, Sandman was blue with a yellow head. Although it is, like any demon, optional to recruit or keep in the actual games, McCoy seems to make up a very important part of Raidou Kuzunoha, the 14th canonical demon team. In every single appearance Raidou has made outside of his own games, where he summons demons, the McCoy has made a major appearance. It is so important in Chronicles, in fact, that it opens the cutscene before the fight between Raidou and the Demi-Fiend, in addition to being one of Raidou's major attacks. Incubus and Succubus are both depicted as wearing anklets, with a bolt for Incubus and a nut for Succubus, attached as an innuendo reference. Lilum makes an appearance in Devil Survivor 2, the animation. Black Frost is a Jack Frost that grew powerful and evil through endless training as a demon. Kaiwan appears in Devil Summoner Soul Hackers on the 3DS, but not in the original release for the Sega Saturn. Queen Mab's artwork features a sword hanging from her back, referencing her status as a warrior. This detail, however, has been omitted from all of her 3D models. Lilith's design from Shin Megami Tensei IV incorporates feathers and talons, alluding to the fact that her name can be translated as Night Owl or Screech Owl. And Onmaraki is a bird demon created from the spirits of freshly dead corpses that appears in Shinto mythology. Zen is a poisonous bird said to have existed in the mountainous regions of southern China. It gains its notoriety of being poisonous from eating venomous viper heads. In a Megami Tensei Demon popularity poll in 2017, in Japan, Moshavu received the 9th highest voter turnout. Anzu made an appearance in Persona 5 the animation. In Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne, Naga can evolve into Raja Naga by leveling up. In Shin Megami Tensei III Nocturne HD Remaster, Raja Naga's name was changed to Naga Raja. In Aboriginal Australian mythology, the Yurunga is a great copper snake that is said to bring the rains and thus incite the renewal of life. It is commonly known as the rainbow serpent, or the rainbow snake, because the water where it lives shines like a rainbow. Orochi is two separate demons as Orochi and Yamato no Orochi in the Devil Children games. In the English versions of Dark and Light, they are known as Orochi and Octorex. King Frost's model in Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal contains numerous miniature Jack Frost models in it. In Persona 2 Innocent Sin, Belphegor has a bunch of toilets surrounding him instead of the one toilet that he usually sits on. Moloch is a demon exclusive to the 3DS remake of Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, available after the Nemichi evolves into the cat form, and costs 150 D-Souls. He is the lowest level tyrant race available in the remake. Loki is the primary antagonist of the original Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei novel, as well as the cult classic anime OVA adaptation it spawned, and has the distinction of being the very first demon to appear in the entire Megami Tensei franchise. In Norse mythology, Seth rules the Land of Fire, guarding the entrance to this realm with his shining sword, Leviathan, that is said to be brighter than the sun. In the demon popularity poll in 2017 in Japan, Mara was voted as the most popular demon in the Megami Tensei series. Abaddon appeared in the Hushabye Devil battle during Imagine's 6th anniversary event as the secret final event boss accessed through door 666. Shin Megami Tensei V is Ariok's latest appearance in the mainline titles. His last appearance was in the first Shin Megami Tensei. Mithras is said to appear as being born from a rock as an adult and holding a knife which would be used for bull slaughtering, a ritual believed to be commonly practiced by the disciples in honor of the god. According to Persona Stalker Club 5, Mephisto was originally going to be featured as the Persona 5 protagonist's initial persona before Arsene was created to better suit the game's theme. According to Masayuki Doi, the design of Amon's arms as the demon appears in Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux is a homage to Amon from Amon the Apocalypse of Devilman. Chi-Yu is contained as leftover data for Shin Megami Tensei 9 and is a part of the Fury race. Some of the artwork for Beelzebub seems to be based on the illustration of it found in Clancy's Dictionnaire Infernal that featured the iconic skull and crossbones motif on his wings. Belial is a war-loving demon that manipulates the unwary in order to achieve its own evil goals. Baphomet shadows in Shido's Palace have 666 HP and 404 SP, in which 666 is associated with the devil and 4 is associated with death in Japan and China. According to the Japanese scholar Yanagita Kunio, Misaguji used to be the guardian deity for travelers worshipped under the guise of a phallic stone pillar. At the same time, due to religious scrutinism, one of his other forms was that of a white Japanese rat snake. In his designs from Megami Tensei 2 and Shin Megami Tensei 2, Pazuzu's left arm is raised. This contrasts most depiction of Pazuzu on statues or the like where his right arm is raised. Jiro McCullough is a large demonic elephant from Sri Lankan mythology. It is said to be the mount of the demonic celestial King Mara, who tried to tempt Buddha so that he could not achieve enlightenment. Marta makes an appearance in Persona 4, the Golden Animation. Lamu's name is derived from the Akkadian word meaning hairy or shaggy. In Devil Children Fire and Ice book, Neko Shogun can be obtained by rank fusing K-Sith 9 times. Unused data for a Yoshitsune shadow can be found in the coding of Persona 5. In Royal, it is now a shadow self, fought in a Memento side quest. In Persona 3, there is an item called Ganesha Bank, referring to the deity. Siegfried is the dragon-slaying hero of the medieval German epic Das Nibelungenlied, which is most likely known due to its adaptation by Richard Wagner into the series of 4 operas Der Ring des Nibelungen. The character of Siegfried and much of the plot of the medieval German epic originate from earlier Norse sagas, where the character is known as Sigurd. Futsunushi is the Nihon Shoki sword deity who pacified Ashihara no Nakatsukuni. Baikorn is a mountable demon in Shin Megami Tensei Imagine. Bugs' other name is Bugbear. In Devil Survivor, Mothman uses Jack Frost and Pyrojack's speech pattern of spouting hee-ho. Nue appears as an optional boss in Chapter 2 of Shin Megami Tensei 9. A mandrake is a poisonous plant that grows from the graves of guilty dead men. In legend, if pulled from the ground, it makes a sound like a scream of a dying child, which is so horrible it either deafens or kills the person pulling it. Agathon appears in Persona 5 the animation and Devil Survivor 2 the animation. In the original Shin Megami Tensei, the sprite used for Asperos was a palette swap of Ame no Uzume. The scroll hanging before Copper is Tora no Maki, which teaches secret techniques and is meant for senior disciples within the school. So ironically, Copper would be too low of a rank to hold such a scroll. Valkyrie is another one of the mountable demons in Shin Megami Tensei Imagine. Unused data for both of Zeus's forms from Persona Q can be found in its sequel, Persona Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth. Ku Chulane's design references the namesake character from the shoujo manga, Fairy King, authored by Ryoko Yamagishi. And that was the second episode of Useless Facts, starring the demons of Shin Megami Tensei V. Don't forget to tell us what your favorite fact was and let us know what you want to see in the comment section down below. Now that has all been said and done, I'm your host, Resident Unleashed, the resident who found these facts and unleashed them out into the world, and I can't wait to see you all back next time.